Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, or is it in the eyes of judges? If big hair, fake nails, and over the top outfits are your idea of true beauty, you are just as delusional as the parents forcing this belief on their young daughters in beauty pageants. Good afternoon, my name is Debbie Ann, and I'm here to speak to you on why I believe parents putting their young daughters in beauty pageants cause more harm than good and why it should be banned. The main goal of this speech is to give you an insight on beauty pageants and how they can psychologically affect young girls and later on create long term damages and hopefully persuade you to never put your child through this toxic notion of beauty. Growing up, I would love to watch the show Toddlers and Tiaras, and I would be in awe of how these young girls, younger than me at the time, were getting the chance to wear long nails, extreme makeup, and big outfits and be considered being at their best and beautiful. I would then question my own natural self and ask my mom if that's what I had to do to be considered beautiful and worthy of a trophy or a prize. My mom would always reassure me of my natural beauty and my worth, but what about those parents who are not uplifting like my mom and get angry at their daughters for not winning the competition? How do you go about losing in a competition on beauty? Not the inner one, but the outer one that everyone gets to see and judge. In a regular competition, when a child loses, they might tell themselves, well, maybe I just have to practice a little more. But in a beauty pageant, what would these kids tell themselves? I am not worthy, I am not good enough, or I'm not beautiful. These are some of the thoughts that children might have. Parents, on the other hand, applying more makeup and more fake nails and more outrageous outfits to try to help their kids meet the beauty standard to win the next competition is also an issue. Having watched the show Toddlers and Tiaras for almost my entire childhood, and I will say I was a little obsessed with the show at one point, but after getting to see the behind the scenes access of what these young girls really go through before, in, and after the competition, I quickly changed my mind. I believe I am more than capable of speaking why beauty pageants should be banned for young girls based on my past relations with the show, along with the numerous articles and sadly deaths of beauty pageant queens and young girls being affected. In this speech, I will go over three main points: what these young girls are going through to prepare to get judged in these pageants, the negative effects of these pageants and damages psychologically on young girls, and lastly, why it's mostly important that we ban these young girls from being able to participate in pageants. Let us unmask and see the true effects of these beauty pageants. As you can see on my screen, we have a young girl at the age of 7 years old. She has the long hair, the fake lashes, the fake teeth, even a fake spray tan. This is how young girls are prepared to become beautiful for the pageants. These are some of the few changes that these young girls go under while preparing weekly for pageants. They are stripped of their youth and their natural beauty. Are these the standards we want our children to think they have to meet to be considered beautiful? On the second slide we have here, these are three young girls who, at the age of 8, look at least 15 and up. Will these young girls appreciate their natural true beauty after having to put on this mask of what beauty standards are? After the fake lashes and the fake nails and the fake hair, who will they be as themselves? How will they identify themselves as a young girl? After putting on the lashes, the makeup, the hair, what are they really hiding under? When are we going to be able to see their true beauty instead of all the glitz and the glam of the makeup and the hair? Next, we will speak on the negative effects of beauty pageants on young girls. As you can see here, you have a young girl crying and clearly does not want to continue with the pageant, but somehow, some way, she has to suck it up and go on stage and pretend like everything is perfect and beautiful. They have to pretend to be perfect They sometimes suffer from lower self esteem because they don't know what true beauty is, which comes from the inside. Psychological damages that they may face can be thinking that others are beautiful and they have to make changes to their bodies as they get older and over time to fit into the standards of beauty. They might not always feel enough without all the glitz and the glamour. They feel like $1,000,000, as some would say, when they're on stage with the glitz, the glamour, the heels, and the big dress. But what happens when they go home back to their childhood and are just natural and bare? Some are being forced by parents to participate in some of these pageants, and that also creates psychological damages on young girls. On the next slide, I have an example of how the young girl is stripped of her youth to look like an older woman or younger adult. In this image, she is 7 years old. But in the makeup, the glitz, and the glamour, we don't get to see her true beauty. As you can see, some of the kids, they start crying. They don't feel like they want to do it anymore. So they try to run away from their parents. Kids should have the chance to be kids. Under all the makeup, the hair, the nails, that's what really matters. And that's what kids should learn and appreciate the most. We should be uplifting young girls and making them realize that true worth and beauty is on the inside and is not worth covering up in makeup and lashes and hair. Lastly, I would like to end by saying, do you still believe fake hair, fake nails, and over the top outfits are the true meaning of beauty? Didn't think so. If my speech was not able to give you an insight on beauty pageants doing more harm than good to young girls, I clearly did not do my job. But if my speech was able to persuade you to not participate in pageants with your younger daughter, then I have done my job. Young girls should feel beautiful and not have to feel like wearing makeup, fake nails, big hairstyles are their definition of beautiful. All these things are accessories that could be added later on in life at an adult age, 18 and up, in my opinion. Beauty pageants have a requirement to win a trophy or a monetary gift by wearing lashes, fake hair, and all these other accessories. Beauty should stem from the inside and show on the outside, and unfortunately, that is not the case with these girls. In the past 2 years, two beauty pageant queens, one from the show Toddlers and Tiara, and one from the older adult beauty pageant, has sadly committed suicide. As I stated earlier, these psychological damages of these young girls' minds from young later on affects them when they get older. Sadly, one of the girls from Toddlers and Tiara, she committed suicide at the age of 16 after leaving a message saying that she just could not do it anymore. The pretending to be beautiful, the pretending to have everything together, the pretending to want to participate in someone constantly judging them, it was just too much. And she unintentionally and sadly committed suicide. The older pageant queen sadly committed suicide by jumping off a building. Her mom later would speak out and let us know that she committed suicide because, again, life was just too much. You would think all this beauty that they would be showing them from younger to older, that they have everything together, they're beautiful, they're perfect. But because they weren't able to learn about the true beauty that comes from the inside, I believe it was a harder struggle for them to get over life's issues. My goal with this speech is to persuade each and every parent that has a young daughter to train them and to bring them up in the right and true meaning of beauty, which comes from within. My name is Devianne, and I hope that beauty is not in the eyes of judges, but in the eyes of the beholder. Thank you.